See facing shade Well, good afternoon, good evening, good morning. Once again, new series for us here, the Midwest Days of Thunder Cup Series. Well, good afternoon, good evening, good morning. This is Rockingham 150 brought to you by Jinx Shifters. Well, good afternoon, good evening, good morning. Jason over here, Signature Esports.
Welcome everybody to another playoff Monday night. We're here with the Xfinity series here at Midwest Days of Thunder at Watkins Glen. This is round number 2, so we have cut these drivers down to 12, and after today we're cutting them even more down. We're cutting them down to 8. We do have one winner already locked in to that final. We're going to see if someone else can punch their ticket, or who knows, we might see someone who isn't in these playoffs win a race here today, but that is for future us to determine and find out. Until then, I'm Alan Brown, and I'm joined in the booth by Mr. Alan English. Alan, how you doing tonight, man?
Great, brother. I'm looking forward to this one. Out of all the road courses that we watch, broadcast on, race, watch on TV, Watkins Glen is probably my favorite road course that they put stock cars on. You can say that stock cars aren't made for road racing, but you can really have a lot of fun turning laps here and also watching. So hopefully we can entertain some folks tonight with some good racing, and we'll see how it goes.
And down there on pit road is Mr. Adam Turner. Adam, how you doing tonight?
I would just say, okay, this is not my favorite cup of tea here, but like Mr. English said, hey, Dale Earnhardt raced at this track, so it's been around. You know what I mean? We've all seen it growing up. It can be fun to watch. Hopefully these guys make it fun to watch. I'm a little concerned the track is hot right now, 110 out there. It's going to make it a little slippery at the beginning. 70% fuel. You got one fast repair if you make a mistake, and you can, and there's 45 laps. So the cool part about it is we're in the playoffs, so let's get this party going and see who comes out the victor, because they'll be on to the final if they get the victory.
As we take a look at today's race info, we are in the middle of qualifying right now, and people trying to put in their best lap times. We got 45 laps here tonight, which seems like a lot, but Watkins Glen, especially in this cup layout, isn't really all that large, just over a minute lap time. So these laps will tick away fairly quickly. Like you said, Turner, it's nice and toasty out there today, which is going to bring that key to the race even more important. That's, once again, like any road course, you got to keep it on the track. We've seen a lot of people have issues coming up the hill into those S's and across the bridge, and that's one spot you definitely don't want to have a problem, because that's where you're probably going to see a lot of damage.
This isn't, one of those tracks, modern design tracks that has a lot of runoff area. The only place you really have any runoff is turn 1, and there's really not enough there. Going up through the S's, getting ready to head to the back stretch, there's a little bit of elevation change right there. So that's always kind of fun to see how those drivers react going up that hill. But once again, if you make a mistake there and get turned around, there's no room for error up there. You're gonna smash the fence. I guess you could argue that the carousel is a little bit more forgiving. There's a little bit of runoff area there too, but it's banked the wrong direction, and there's no gravel there. It's pavement all the way to the barrier. So not a whole lot you can do. The only spot you really have a gravel pit to catch you is right. What is that? Turn 7, I believe. Just before the last couple of turns before you get back to the front stretch. So, yeah, practice. It's really going to show tonight who put in more practice than required, and maybe those who just did the bare minimum.
Yeah, you definitely need practice, and I don't know what turn it is, right, left. I can't keep track, but after the carousel, there's a sweeping right, and that tends to get some people there sometimes too. If you cook it a little hot, you could end your day. But man, I don't know much about it. It just it's going to be fun to see how it plays out. Main thing is playoffs, and hopefully we were talking a little bit before the race. Let's see some hatred. I mean, maybe somebody will dump somebody for the win, and it's something cool. Let's have some fights.
So we've been following some of these drivers around. Right now we're watching Mr. Mike Hornbeck, and now moving on to Special K, Alan Kewins. But the first person we watched was the 42, Angel Hernandez, who picked up the win last week, which means he is in for the finals coming up in a couple of weeks. But even more importantly than that, he's still able to race in these races, and who knows, if he picks up another win, that's stealing a spot away from somebody who can trying to fight their way in, and we're gonna have to see what the points wise that situation looks like as we take a quick look here at the standings. Andrew Kobe making it through to the next round. Same thing with Gavin Marlin, Isaac Wilson, Angel Hernandez, Kevin Biggs, Ethan Flanagan, Alan Kewins, Pete Van Sprundle, Tim Harmon, Alan Dixon, Greg Klein, and Al Corey are all kind of moving on here, with Greg Klein and Al Corey kind of just outside that picture right now. And Mike Hornbeck definitely needs some good luck here tonight.
He does, but he's got -1. Looks like Pete Van Sprundle isn't even here at this point in time, so he may miss out on the old championship. Yeah, but hey, we still got a minute or two to go.
As we continue to put some laps down here, Andrew Kobe just finishing up a little qualifying effort from him. You got Ken Olsen out there right now, trying to put in some laps, but we're pretty close up at the top there, boys. We're all within a couple seconds of each other.
Yeah, the hot lap really doesn't matter, I don't think, here. It's consistency. I think I have a saying: slow is fast, or slow is smooth, and smooth is fast. Right? That's basically road course racing, in my opinion. Just be consistent, run quick laps, but don't overcook those tires, because you're gonna try to save them and make this a one-stop race, I would think.
Inside baseball here. I dropped a track map down in Graphic Dump channel if you guys want to refer to that, because this isn't one of those tracks we do very often. So to kind of familiarize ourselves, and I uploaded the wrong image. Sorry about that. Sorry
Yeah,
about
you're
that.
doing a lot of work behind the scenes. It's not even working.
Oh, thanks for
So,
noticing.
so I think it's the loop is where turn 7 maybe is my problem. I don't know. Is this the right map? I don't.
It's
Does,
not.
does it even matter, really?
I'll upload it here.
Sorry, Brown. We're causing you confusion at the beginning of this. If this is how it's going to go, we're in for a long one.
I'll give you code word Yahtzee when I get the right one uploaded here.
As we continue to follow Ken Olsen here, it looks like everybody who did want to take a lap have done so. We'll take a look at the people who are currently on that outside of that top 12 bubble. You got Tony Fry, Mike Hornbeck, Gary Sargent, and Brian Privet. Gary Sargent does not appear to be here tonight, so that's one spot. But Brian Privet definitely, he looks like he's probably going to need to win to get in here tonight. Tony Fry, he is here, but he needs a really good result as he is in that 13th spot right now. Al Corey and Greg Klein are right there in the 11 and 12 spot. So we do have some people racing for some stuff here.
Yeah, man, they definitely racing for stuff. I got English is working harder than the real Mrs. Poindexter thing. The race hadn't even started yet. I know he's concentrating when he ain't talking because he does a lot of talking most of the time. So, which makes it easy on me. So I'm kind of missing it.
I can't find that old map I was looking for. So
Yeah, don't worry about it. I think we'll get used to this track here after we see the first 20 laps, you know. But these laps go by pretty quick for a road course, so that's good.
yeah, it's what, just over 2.4 miles. It's one of the longer tracks we see, and because of all the heavy braking zones and stuff you have in it, it takes a while to get around here. It's not just like what we saw last week at Talladega, just running wide open.
As qualifying finishes up here, just a couple of people not taking the time and starting here in the back, but you know what, that is a-okay, and we will now go into our starting grid for today's events. Davey Hendricks winning pole position here, just ahead of Angel Hernandez, who's going to be starting in second. Kevin Biggs in that 18 is looking to have another good result here. He's going to be starting in third. Same thing with the 92 of Greg Klein. He will be in fourth. You got the 11 of Andrew Cobe starting fifth, with Brian Privet in that 55 starting sixth. Ethan Flanagan going to be starting here seventh, with Tony Fry starting in eighth. Isaac Wilson will get a ninth place start here today, with William Brown rounding out that top 10.
I got that map loaded, by the way. The 84 of Mike Hornbeck will be rolling off 11th. The 60 of Alan Kewins in 12th. The 51 of Ken Olsen in 13th place. Al Corey in that 45 will be starting 14th. Tim Harmon in the 73 in 15th place. And Justin Barkley, he'll be starting this race at the back in 16th place in that 22.
Yeah, well, thanks for the updated map. It's going to help me as I try to navigate this whole thing. So it looks like they're going to do a full parade lap here, so we can maybe even go through the turns.
Hey, there you go. That's not a bad idea at all.
No, and I know for you, Turner, it's hard to stay attentive here. Watkins Glen, in a beautiful area in New York, kind of out in some green hills and nice little mountain ranges away from the city.
God's country, yep.
You got any deer out there?
Oh, do they have deer? Yes, they do.
They probably can't even have a gun in New York, so what's the difference? I have to shoot it with like a bow and arrow that's not even a compound bow. I'm sorry. Digress again. Oh, here we go. They're starting this parade lap, Brown.
And starting the parade lap, heading off down into turn number 1. And that's the turn you were talking about, Mr. English, that has that big runoff. That's not even gravel. It's a, kind of like a concrete pavement kind of situation going on. And turn number 2 and headed up into these S's. I think this is where we're going to see most of the issues, especially here at the start, is people trying to push and get the best position that they possibly can, and we're going to maybe see some people lose it coming up through here, and that's a very narrow part of the track.
Yep, and the back and forth action, especially if you got cold tires, it's going to get out from underneath you in a hurry. As we look at, this is one of the higher speed sections of the track, the back stretch here. This is probably the only time, besides the front stretch, they'll actually see fourth gear, and not for very long before they have to start downshifting and moving into the next section of the track known as the bus stop or the inner loop.
It says inner loop on my map. I'm going to go with inner loop.
Yeah, it's a couple.
5A, and then you're going to hit that. Here's where I think there's issues right here in the carousel coming out. You could get real hot.
Yeah, you're trying to put power back down on the ground right there to get into that, what is that called, the short chute or something. And, trying to straighten that car out as you're coming around and kind of coming downhill right there. There's no banking to help you. You'll see a few cars get loose there.
And this short chute, you'd pick up a lot of speed before heading into the penultimate corner, second to last corner here. Not necessarily tricky, plenty of runoff, but if you get your tires off into that dirt, you can expect a ride out into the gravel, and then coming through here into that final turn, you just got to be careful of that tire barrier. I know you're going to want to push it out wide, and then have this amazing stretch coming down this front straightaway. Green flags waving, and away we go. Great start here for Davey Hendricks in that 81 with the 42 of Angel Hernandez on that outside. We got a little bit of a stack up here going into turn number 1. Greg Klein's going to be forced out wide. He's going to lose quite a few positions there, so Kevin Biggs and the 55 of Brian Privet able to sneak on through.
As they start to try to single file up here, you won't see a whole lot of side-by-side racing here. It's very difficult to do. It's difficult to pass somebody that doesn't want to be passed. And I just heard I heard a motor blowing up sound.
Yeah.
Somebody just blew the inner loop there.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, it looks like that was the 35 of Ethan Flanagan, and he has jumped to the pits.
Car on the wall right there going into the carousel.
Yeah, Ken Olson looks like he's having some issue in the Turtle Wax Cheez-It car.
And he is still kind of stuck there. We're going to have to wait to see if he's able to get back and running, but we're about ready to complete our first lap here. Davey Hendricks still has that lead over Angel Hernandez with Kevin Biggs and Brian Privet chasing. Andrew Cobe, same thing with Greg Klein, had lost a few positions. As Greg Klein's looking to the inside of the 55 right now, trying to take that spot before heading up those S's, and he will snag that one away.
Thanks to Grumpy Grant Racing for watching us on Facebook. Appreciate you guys.
Yeah, and Greg Klein, this guy's he likes road racing, so I think we're going to see him hold steady, and he could be there at the end. I wouldn't be surprised.
Some people back here that need that really good race here today. Tony Fry being one of them, and Alan Kewins. He's doing all right, but he definitely wants to make up some ground. Currently sitting back here in 10th and 11th, just kind of biding their time and probably just using our key to the race to their advantage here, and that's keeping it on the track. We've already seen a couple people have some issues, and that's kind of what happens when you're not able to do so.
Kewins out there in the Butterball fully cooked whole turkey smoked car. I don't know who buys fully cooked turkeys for Thanksgiving, but apparently there's a market for it out there.
Well, mine's going in the smoker this year, I think.
Yeah,
I
that's a
fry
good
one
way.
occasionally, and
Both are great ways. It's better
Oh,
than the
man.
oven.
That's-
Get in the oven, you can burn that thing up.
We're having some issues with some lap traffic right now already, and we got Davey Hendricks all over that back bumper of Ethan Flanagan with Angel Hernandez trying to get around two people there at the same time. They do manage to kind of figure it out, and Kevin Biggs now kind of stuck behind there. Kevin Biggs running fastest lap of the race so far. Not by much. It was pretty darn close. Couple hundredths of a second there, but still running that fastest lap as these guys start to run away from Biggs a little bit here, as he's still kind of stuck behind Ethan Flanagan in that lapped 35.
And the 92, Greg Klein, 1:15.7, almost a full second slower than these guys. This may be a tire saving strategy. He wants to make a whole fuel run on that set of tires, so I imagine that's what you see the 92 Quick Trip machine doing. Right? Let's see.
I think so. It looked like Ethan Flanagan just got out of the way there. So good on him. But I don't know. It's just... I feel just a little slower tonight. Is it the time change? What do you think's going on? Why did we do the time change? What's happening with that?
I think the time change thing has kind of outlived its usefulness.
Is it for the farm? It's for the farmers,
Yeah, it
right?
used to
They get an
be,
extra. They get an extra hour, don't they? God gave them an extra hour because we changed the time, right?
I mean, they got really bright lights on those machines,
There's more sunlight, right? I mean, there's...
and it's very common for these guys to run it.
Oh, as we get a car in the wall, the 55 of Brian Privet.
Uh-oh.
Oh lordy.
He's back rolling, it looks like.
Yeah, he
Dude,
hit that.
Ooh.
He hit that wall not gently, coming out of that carousel, and whew, how
48. William Brown is having loads of trouble trying to get around the 11 machine of Cove. They're getting a little racy up here behind the 35. Here comes Privet.
Oh no! As the 35 gets into the 11.
That was weird. That looked like he
Literally
went all the way
into
inside the car. Why would that happen? That didn't.
Little,
That looked
little
like
glitch, I think.
It looked like it. Yeah.
48 able to make that pass around the 11 of Cove, and 55 not able to follow him through there. Yeah, a little bit of a glitching action there. It's not super common unless a couple of cars are coming out of the pit. You know, you'll see cars go inside each other like that, but not usually when they're fighting for a position on the racetrack.
That was weird. I don't know. It might be the time change.
Who knows? You might be right. Other thing is, I wonder if we're starting to see a little bit of a connection issue there from some of these guys, and we're just not able to see it. You know, typically we can tell, and people will be blinking and whatnot, but you know, who knows? Maybe Ethan Flanagan literally didn't see the 11.
Well, he caught the packets.
Yeah, the internet gods are not smiling on the 35 of Ethan Flanagan. He's, yep, like you said, he's a victim of the old packet loss. Hopefully he can get that internet rebooted or whatever he's got to do, reconnect, turn some.
Yeah, but it did look weird. I don't know what the heck was going on, but hey, we're on racing. Nobody got killed there. So
These guys do have a quick repair, right, Adam? So I mean,
yeah, they have one fast repair, and here's my problem. You know, I'm just used to having cautions, or you know, you're turning left. You have. When are you gonna? If you're penalizing yourself if you take an extra trip down pit lane here, because there's no free time to do it. You know what I mean?
you're right. But the reason I mentioned the one fast repair is for guys that are having connection problems. Somebody could use theirs up, and then maybe they get in another accident. and you're going to take that position away. So even if you only need a couple of points, you can make those up if you get a couple of DNFs. I know that's kind of shooting low there, just trying to make up a couple of positions on wrecked race cars, but it can happen. But yeah, you don't really get a break at a road course like
Isaac
this.
Wilson it just spun it. He didn't kill anybody but himself, really. Right out of the 90, the first turn there, he's having an issue. Sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. So he tries to get back righted here, able to keep it on rolling. Been following here the little battle for first going on. Kevin Biggs has slowly inched his way forward there, but man, Angel Hernandez has really not left that back bumper of the 81 of Davey Hendricks.
Yeah, I'm watching the same thing, and he's just sticking with him. Just letting Davey know he's there. He's not going to try to slow them both down by making a pass this early. He's just clicking off laps, content just to keep up with the Skittles machine.
And interesting for him, he didn't have to even race this race really at this point. He's already into the final, so he's just out there having a good time, so there's no pressure on him at all.
Getting another win would have to that would mean you're going to force a couple of people to make it in on points to the next round.
Yeah, I think that might make it a little more interesting for us and some of the other drivers, so hey.
Well, it's the same thing here with the 81 of Davey Hendricks, who's not in these playoffs. If he gets a win here, that's stealing a spot away as well. So,
Yes, sir.
Man, it's a yeah. Don't kid yourself. That guy wants to ruin everyone's day. He just wants to win. I mean, he doesn't give a damn who's in the playoffs at this point. I'm pretty sure he just wants to win.
I like the additional dynamic of having non-playoff cars out there on the track, just trying to get a win. Trying to do well.
And why not? You're building for next season. You're building for if you're going to be in Cup or you're going to stay here in Xfinity. I mean, why not get the experience of being out here in a time like this and a track like this?
Absolutely. Show those Cup owners that you're a serious driver and, you're going to compete even when there's nothing on the line for you, really. So make an impression on those Cup owners. And I'm sure Davey won't have a problem next season of hopefully getting snagged up by a good race team.
That's the 55 of Brian Privet, still trying to get around and figure out a way to get by the 11 of Andrew Kobe. Cooked it into turn one just a little bit as Tim Harmon having a little bit of an issue back here. He's going to be back rolling, but let's go back and take a quick look to kind of see what happened with him. It looks like coming into this penultimate corner and just running a little wide, and man, once those tires go off, it's all you can do just to try not to get all turned around and sideways. But he did not hitting anything there, but able to get back rolling without too much of an issue.
Good job of not hitting the tire barrier.
Yeah, and as you were talking about that, Biggs had a little issue right there in the sixth turn 6. I don't know. He had a little issue, went on the grass, but it didn't look like it slowed him down too much. He's still hanging with the leaders.
Tommy Stanley on Facebook saying that Angel Hernandez loves road courses. He's got a good chance at winning tonight. Absolutely. Definitely don't count that guy out.
That's the insider information we need out there. We need tipsters letting us know.
Yeah, well, so I can give a little inside information there. Was before I retired, I was racing in the ARCA series, and one of the tracks we went to was the Daytona Road Course. I ended up winning that, but Angel was definitely the faster driver. He just ran into some damage issues and wasn't able to pit early, as that's when his damage came. Because if like you said early on, if he had pitted, he would have lost more time having to pit again due to the fuel mileage and all that we were getting. So Angel definitely very quick here at these road courses.
Look at you, the only one of us that's ever won one of these races. I mean, really had to brag about yourself, didn't you, Brown? I don't know why you retired. You could probably be racing this thing and broadcasting at the same time. You're multitasker.
That would be an amazing thing to see.
You would need an assistant to hit all the buttons over there.
Yeah, it probably would need one of those kind of bleep bars or something ready.
Yeah, that probably wouldn't be very fun.
Yeah, the 22 of Barkley also getting hit with that incoming packet loss. So internet connections abound tonight at the road course walk.
I think he just had the macaroni and cheese packet lost. He was going to make some food or something.
Yeah, microwave got finished, so he might have just unplugged the modem.
So we continue to tick laps away. Greg Klein still sitting there in fourth, looking to make up some ground, but he's been holding pretty steady about that 4.5 second mark. And falling back just a little bit, but he's got a ton of space behind him until William Brown. Same thing with Andrew Cope. You know, we're starting to get a little spaced out here today, which is you know, kind of expected, especially at a road course. But you know, things will. I got that feeling things will probably tighten up when we hit that first pit stop.
Yeah, that'll be fun to see. And are we thinking this is going to be a one-stop race, or are they going to have to make two here? I think are we guessing at this point? I just heard Little Birdie say something about one-stop race.
I talked to the driver in the 92 before the race, and we both were kind of scratching our heads and trying to figure it out. But the more I think about it, the more I think he's trying to stretch those tires out to halfway and try to make a one-stop race. I'm sure he didn't want to give up all the cards he's holding either, you know, because folks listen to the broadcast while they're racing too. So, but when we see guys starting to get ready to come to pit road or announce it on the radio, we'll definitely let you guys watch it on the stream know.
As dealing with a little bit of lap traffic, these leaders are the 51 of Ken Olson in that Cheez-It car, having a little bit of a rough time out here today, but still out there running. Good on him. But that little bit of a slow up is going to let Angel, you know, close up on that bumper just a little bit more on Davey, and Kevin Biggs able to get around without too much of an issue either. So he's throwing his name back here into the hat.
Yeah, he just got a little slippery back there passing. I think that was Al Corey or Ken Olson or, you know, one of them guys. But he's still running at the top. What's Greg Klein doing back there? Is he just saving tires? He's like a cat ready to pounce, or we're going to have to see how that works out.
I think he's hoping these guys up front are going to burn their tires up, and they're just going to maybe have to pit twice. We'll see here in about 2 laps, because that's going to be the one-third complete. We'll see if anybody does try to break it up into 2 stops. That's when we'll see them start to come in. Be about lap 15.
You were talking about there's people that race this race and they listen to us. What in the hell for?
Get a little insider information, man. I think that's why a lot of the teams, they don't want to tell us, you know, they don't want to tell us what the window is.
Super secret over here, these guys. But they probably listen to us just for
they're competitive, man.
Great conversation, you know, about the deer and everything out here. I'm still looking for deer out here on this New York racetrack.
Derek Schimmel, who won the Cup race Friday night. Derek Schimmel joining us on Facebook, saying Angel and Davey are putting on a damn show up front. Yeah, they're sticking with each other. not a whole lot of fight for position up here, but definitely put some damn good laps together. Tommy Stanley saying Big's doing the same thing. It's going to be a great race here when we get some more laps clicked off.
And talk about a great race here, kind of towards that middle of the field. The 55 of Brian Privet finally able to chase down that 11 of Andrew Cobe and get around. So those two have now officially swapped positions there, and don't count the 11 of Andrew Cobe out just yet, as Brian Privet goes very wide through turn number 1.
Well, that's a nice call on that. Yeah, there's just a little bit of racing right here with these two.
So as the 81 and the 42 come out of the carousel here, get ready to head down in the last couple of turns, let's see if either of them slow up and want to come in and get a set of tires to split this race up. I do not see either of these doing that. Nope, they both kept going, so that may be an indicator there what these guys are planning to do. I mean, they're both running quick laps here. I mean, if you're still doing very well, why pit if you don't need to?
Hey, you're 100% correct on that one, as these guys make their way up those S's and down this kind of back straightaway, headed into that bus stop, getting separated a little bit here. And I think they do have to be careful as they are catching up to some more lap traffic, as I think they're catching now up to, man, who is that?
Olsen, maybe. Or,
I think it might be Tim Harmon, yes, in that 73 car.
Their times have fallen off about 2 seconds there, Mr. Turner. So,
Ooh,
I don't know if,
Privet, I'm sorry. Privet just lost it there in the bus stop. Cole went right past him.
So he's stuck on that outside right now, and let's go back and take a look to see if he was able to avoid hitting anything. Coming down into turn number 1, just breaking loose sideways, and good job from him again, not hitting anything. So he was able to get it all woed up in time, but unfortunately that's going to give the 11, the 64, and the 84 all a extra spot up that leaderboard.
And you said it, he didn't hit anything. You know, he got it stopped before he got to that tire barrier because...
Oh, as Angel Hernandez has an issue coming here into the bus stop. That's going to allow Kevin Biggs to try to sneak his way on through, and he will. They're dealing with that 73 lap traffic of Tim Harmon, now able to get by. Let's go back and take a look to see what happened to Angel Hernandez there.
Harmon was trying to stay high and out of the way, and
oh, he was just right there at the apex when the 42 of Angel Hernandez was trying to come on by. So Angel having to throw out the parachute to try not to hit him. I think they did end up making contact at some point, but really not showing any damage right now. And man, not only that, but that's a lot of time lost up to Davey, who's now 3 seconds clear of these guys.
yeah, he's driving away. He can kind of breathe easy and maybe back it down just a little bit.
Well, I'm sure he has some kind of plan.
Maybe short shift a little bit, save some fuel.
See, he's got a little lap traffic there in front of him. Al Corey's right in front of him. See what happens here.
Looks like he's going to try to make a move here, coming down this short chute, able to, Al Corey being one of those classy guys, letting these lap cars or the faster cars go, and he's still in that hunt in these playoffs.
Yes.
And I will tell you what, he's very much like our own Slider Dixon. He's a patient cat. He'll sit around and wait, and just one little bit of a mistake and he'll pounce on you. But having not too good of a time here today, but still running fairly well. Currently running 5th place, or 12th place, excuse me.
Well, I've been that guy before. You're just trying to not kill the leader, but you still want to, drive as hard as you can. So, yeah, right there, you see it. White knuckle driving and driving with your rear view.
William Brown, so far your biggest mover of the race, in a positive direction anyway, as he's up 5 spots. So William Brown looking at a top 5 right now if the race were to end right now. So good on him to continue to improve his position.
As these guys continue to turn and tick laps away, Davey Hendricks, that lead is now starting to expand once again, just about 3 seconds. You got Kevin Biggs and Angel Hernandez just about right on top of each other. Then a big gap to Greg Klein in 4th, big gap to William Brown in 5th, even bigger gap to Andrew Cobe in 6th. So we're definitely getting all spread out here, but we do have a race going on between the 60 of Alan Kewins and the 93 of Isaac Wilson. Looks like Kewins went a little wide, seeing Isaac Wilson maybe run a little bit quicker than him, let him go through on that carousel. So Isaac Wilson now up into that top 10.
And those are both playoff guys, but the 60 did recognize that the 93 was much faster than him and said, you can have it for now, maybe not later. So just a little bit of chivalry out there.
Rivet's having an issue again.
55's off track again.
Coming out of turn number 1, able to come back on track. Man, Brian Privet not having the best of luck. He was spinning those tires on that rumble strip, and that just broke him loose and made it. These cars, once when you hit that grass, it's like driving on ice with slick tires. You're just going for a ride at that point. And this time, not able to stay out of the wall, but thankfully minimize the damage when he did hit that wall, going fairly slow. But yeah, Brian Privet in that 55 was looking pretty good, running in that kind of top 6, but right now dropped down to 9th and definitely having some issues, maybe trying to force his way back up as the 11 of Andrew Cobe coming down pit lane.
Here we go. So maybe short pitting a little bit here.
Yeah, I was about to say, these guys, watching Privet, it just looked like he had a lot of tire wear. Probably played into that little slide job he had. So that's interesting that now we got Privet down as well. We'll see if anybody else comes and takes some tires and fuel.
Look, the 48 is trying to get around the 73. Yeah, he's got it here. Good pass there. Yeah, every driver, and I'm sure the 55 would probably tell you the same thing, that maybe this track is just his kryptonite. He just, this is one of the places he just can't run well. I have one of those tracks. Sebring, man. Sebring is that one for me. When we used to do endurance racing together, and I hate that track with a passion. I'd rather run Bathurst, 12 hours at Bathurst, than run Sebring ever again. I never could figure that place out.
As the 70...
Eric Schimel couldn't either.
No,
especially at night.
As the 73 of Tim Harmon gets around Al Corey for position here, so Tim Harmon now up into that 12th spot. Tim being one of those guys in that playoff hunt, needing a good result here today. Slowly picking up some positions here, but we're still quite a few laps away from the end of this. 24 laps still left to be run, as Kevin Biggs has now caught back up to that back bumper of Davey Hendricks, leaving Angel Hernandez behind just a little bit. And I think we're going to start to see maybe some pit stops here. Yes, we're going to see Kevin Biggs coming down. Same thing with Angel Hernandez. So Davey Hendricks currently out there running all on his own. Same thing with Greg Klein. All these guys looking to maybe do a little bit of a Formula One undercut action going on.
Is that what's going on out here?
Setting themselves up for later.
They let Davey out to dry, didn't they? So we'll see how that plays out. And interesting. The pit strategy here is just so much different than when you're just turning left, you know? It's kind of mind-boggling how things work.
Grumpy Grant Racing saying, I hate Pocono. Pocono can go suck a fart. And a lot of people feel that way about Pocono. It depends on what the car is at Pocono for me. I love racing certain cars there, but other not so much.
I'm with him on that. It's like, I don't know if there's 3 turns, there's 5 turns. I don't know. It's a weird track.
It's the tricky triangle. Triangles have 3 corners.
But does it really? I can't figure it out.
Each one of them's different too, so yeah, man. If you forget where you're at on the track, you're kind of screwed. It's like Biggs is running up on the 51 now. 51 going low in the carousel, kind of let him around on the outside.
As the 81 of Davey Hendricks now coming down pit road. William Brown in that 48 being maybe the next guy that does come down. And he will, so now it's up to the 18 and the 42 to try to make up a little bit of ground. They're coming through the final couple of corners here. Going to see if they've made up any ground with that little bit of a undercutting pit strategy here.
No, I don't know if you'll see much. Thanks also to Puny Hunk on YouTube for watching us. We appreciate all of our viewers on all the platforms watching tonight.
Heading off down into turn number 1. They're going to be side by side as Hendricks comes out of the pits. Coming up to these S's. Now the 81's going to deal with some cold tire situation going on as the 18 is all over that back bumper. And we are back to nose to tail racing.
Let's see what happens in this high braking zone coming up on the bus stop. Let's see if the 18 wants to dive it in there. It looks like he won't. Hendricks looks like they might have had them tires in the microwave waiting on him or something, because it looks like it's sticking pretty good for just coming out of the pits.
Oh, we'll have to inspection after the race.
Might have them warming blankets or something like the F1 guy got.
I think that's against code. Can't do that. But yeah, there's a good racing though right there. Those 2 Kyle Busch cars. It's Kyle Busch versus Kyle Busch.
That's right, like a bizarro Kyle Busch.
Or is it really him? I don't know.
I thought we discussed this last week. It's Davey Hendricks, TH.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. The attitude and the fire and the Toyota.
I've never heard him call anybody a hack. We heard him call somebody a much more inflammatory name thing.
He used Kyle Busch words on.
Yeah, he did. He used those sensitivity training words.
Yeah, he's in the penalty box for a while. But
what a comeback is catching up to the 73 of Harmon.
Now Tim's having a rough one, but he's still out there fighting.
Ooh, he closed the door.
Yeah, now he's in the middle of it.
Oh, they're not gonna forget about that one. I don't know if Tim was just he just didn't know where to get out of the way, or
was a very tricky spot where the carousel really only has, a couple lines, and if he's already in one line, you really can't change. I mean, if you're in that racing line, it's hard to figure something out. As Tim Harmon having a little bit of an issue here. I wonder if I don't think he's out of fuel, but he's definitely kind of trying to coast it along here, going extremely slow.
And let's be clear, Tim Harmon is a playoff driver. Davey Hendricks is not. So Tim Harmon has every right to do everything he can to stay on that lead lap, even though he might be a little bit slower. It looks like he's coming in the pits.
As Ken Olsen has a problem in those S's right at the top, able to get back rolling here. Let's take a look back and see what happened with Ken. Just getting that car all unsettled into one wall, avoids the next one, and then back into that original wall. All that happened right in front of Greg Klein. He was able to get woed up in time for it. However, that's going to cost him a little bit of time as the battle up here at the front heats up a little bit. And Ken Olsen's having some more issues. Man, he's having a heck of a time trying to get that car back rolling. He's got a ton of damage.
One of Hendricks and the 18 of Biggs just came around the 60 of Alan Kewins. And man, these guys are cooking off some good laps now. Minute 15:63, they ran an identical lap. The 81 and the 18, so identical.
Oh, as Mike Hornbeck in the 84 goes wide, he's got to watch out for those tire barriers. Oh,
got him, I think.
He just snagged them, but thankfully not too hard of an impact going in there. But it's that wild ride of just getting off the track just a little bit, and that's what you get. And lost a couple of positions there for Brian Privet and Tony Fry, but now he's got Isaac Wilson right behind him. Isaac trying to hunt down some more spots, currently sitting in a top 10 10th, but looking to improve upon that.
And keep in mind, folks, that although we do not have full course cautions going for this race, unless the admins really think we need one, they're not going to throw one. But they do have local cautions. So if something like that were to happen in front of you, you get a driver off, get somebody spin, you'll see a caution flag in the corner of your screen as a driver that's coming up on that situation. So there is a little bit of warning there to keep your eyes up, and watch out for cars that might be having some problems.
Well, not only that, but that can cause an issue with some of these other guys that are, in the middle of racing for a position. Like, you could be Kevin Biggs getting a run on Davey Hendricks trying to make a pass as Mike. Oh no, the 84 of Mike Hornbeck, and we're gonna have the leaders coming around here in a second. It looks like he might be.
He's stuck in the wall.
Yeah, he might be stuck on that wall. Let's go back and take a quick look to
he just towed.
See what happened with Mr. Hornbeck there. Coming down this short chute, he had Isaac Wilson all over that back bumper. Oh, just got two tires off, and it just snapped up into that wall, and it would not let him go.
Wow. Yeah, it doesn't really take much, does it? Especially if you're on the brakes and you get two tires off. That just snaps you around. Oh, wow.
But that just brings me back to the point I was making, is if these racers or these leaders are in the middle of racing and trying to pass each other, and they come up on that yellow flag, you cannot pass while you're in a yellow flagged sector. And I mean, just like right there, Hornbeck was kind of stuck in that wall, and if Kevin Biggs had a run on Davey Hendricks, he would have just had to let Hendricks go.
Grumpy Grant Racing asking on Facebook, what kind of car is cool at Pocono? Do you guys know? And Tommy Stanley said Xfinity and trucks and ARCA are fun at Pocono. You know what's really fun at Pocono? Cadillacs.
Yeah,
the Cadillacs. Yep.
Cadillacs.
Yeah, the Cadillacs are fun.
That's
Actually.
a blast.
Hey, what's interesting out here is Ethan Flanagan is back after he lost all his packets. He's back on the track, 22 laps down, 18 laps down. I don't know, but he's out there running laps now. Tim Harmon having an issue with 73 car.
He brought it into the pit, maybe.
No, he spun out of the carousel.
Oh, no.
Able to get back rolling here, but he was his car has seen a few bumps and bruises, but he's gonna continue to try to keep it on rolling. I don't know if he's used that fast repair he has yet. He might have, but he's apparently happy enough with how it's going that he's going to continue to stay out, not come down to the pits to get some of that fixed up and keep on rolling.
The Biggs is still sticking right behind the 81 of Hendricks. These guys are staying right with each other, half a second gap. And they're still flicking off laps. They got 15 to go at the line here when they get back around to the front stretch. But not really a sense of urgency yet as far as trying to maybe overdrive the car a little bit or something. Not sure what their strategy is going to be.
Well, big strategy is to win, obviously. But Davey, obviously, he doesn't want to lose. That guy doesn't like to lose, but he's not in the playoffs. So we're going to see how that plays out. But Greg Klein kind of just lurking back here in fourth, quite a few seconds back. But you think he can make up that ground he's lost?
Well, and it also comes down to points too, because somebody's got to make it in on points. At least one car is going to make it in on points if we don't have a non-playoff driver or a repeat playoff driver win tonight. So probably need to look at those points things and kind of see where everybody sits, because Greg Klein's had a pretty consistent year of finishing a lot of top fives. So he might be sitting well enough in the points that he might not be worried too much about getting a win as he is just finishing well.
Well, and it's the same thing with Kevin Biggs.
Yep,
especially lately, he's been having a lot of great results, and so it's going to be one of those risk management situations here for him where, I mean, if he can get around the 81, that's great, but you definitely don't want to, wreck that car and lose a whole bunch of spots, and more importantly, lose a whole bunch of points just because you wanted the win when you could have easily walked away here with a second place finish and just quietly moved on to that next round.
Adam, you know these guys are racers, so I mean, look no farther than the championship race yesterday with Martin Truex and how happy, with my air quotes, he was to finish second. So
that's true.
I mean,
yeah, it was like he, somebody killed his dog or something. Finishing second, it doesn't really compete with these guys, especially when you get into the playoffs. Nobody wants to finish anywhere other than first.
The 11 of Cope just came in the pit, sitting in his box. Curious to see these guys that pitted around lap 20. They're going to have to come in again at some point.
I would think, but
check out the spoiler in the back back cover of the 81. He does have a little damage there. I think that occurred in that little stack up behind Harmon in the carousel, but it doesn't seem like it's affecting him much. Mr. Brown is, aero is important here, but it ain't everything.
No, I think this is more of a situation where I don't think you're more worried about aero than you are, making sure that steering system is all intact. Now, obviously, Davey, as well as like the 18 and the 42, Kevin Biggs and Angel Hernandez, they really haven't went off track and hit too much, so their steering situation is just fine, unchanged from how this race began. But I think that's what would affect these guys more, is having that steering wheel just a little cockeyed a little bit, a little 45 degrees off angle, and Next thing you know, you're trying to come into a right-hand turn, and man, the car doesn't want to turn to the right anymore.
Well said. As you look at the 18 of Biggs, he just ran a faster lap than Hendricks, and he's kind of closed that gap up. As soon as I say that, though, the 81 kind of pulls away from him. But Biggs is up there challenging right now. As they're coming up on the 93 of Wilson.
I was just going to say, here we go, having some more lap traffic coming here into this bus stop. This is a very tricky spot to, try to let people by at. So I think these guys are going to be a little bit patient here and wait for the carousel, which they do, so the 93 able to extend out wide a little bit to let these two drivers go through, really without too much of an issue or a slowdown there.
Yeah, that's my favorite place to let people around when I know they're faster than me is, if they could just wait for me to get through lumber my way through the damn bus stop. As soon as we get to the carousel, I'm going to get up and out of the way.
As the 55 of Brian Privet comes down into pit road now, and man, these guys up here at the front, they're lapping these guys like it's nobody's business, and now coming up onto Tony Fry, who's going to be, that last car on the lead lap, and that's sixth place.
And you got to hand it to these guys that are, we got a few guys a lap down and several that are multiple laps down, and these guys are still out there fighting. They're still out turning laps, trying to get that extra few points. So good on these guys for sticking with it, not just packing it up, calling it a day, and quitting.
That's what I would have done by now. As Davies coming in on another lap traffic car. See what happens here.
Now looks like it's gonna be the 45 of Al Corey now, kind of in their target sights to put another lap down, coming in to these final couple of corners. I think this is where we're going to see maybe Al Corey lift a little bit here down on coming through this front straightaway to let them through on turn one, but then again, maybe not.
Yeah, it's hard to pass right here as well. The 81 and the 18 are going to have to wait. Nope. Corey gets over right here before the S's. Good on him. Ooh, yeah. That was
drive it like, yeah, I was about to say. Man. Let him go. Let these two rip through it here. Man, what a interesting race, man. Let's put it that way. It looks like a two-car race so far at this point.
At this point, but don't count Angel Hernandez out just yet. If these two start racing, he can kind of close that gap, as he's having some issues here with some lap traffic right now, trying to get through. He's got the 11 of Andrew Kobe, who's on fresh tires, so he might be a little bit quicker than Angel right now, but also a lap down. Try to sneak by him, but anything can happen here up at the front, even though these guys probably just want to finish the race 1 and 2 and don't really matter who wins or loses at this point. But we'll just have to wait and see. As Donald Jennings saying, "Go Justin Barkle." Well, unfortunately, I think he used too much power or bandwidth or something with the microwave heating up his mac and cheese. As he's still not running here today. Looks like a little bit of a starting park for the Barkle Lounger.
Yeah, Mr. Barkley didn't even get out of the pits, so if he wins, it'll be an amazing feat. He'll be coming from 38 laps down at this point. So, hey, but at least he's got fans, That's cool.
As the 11 of Cove starts to catch up to the 93 of Isaac Wilson right now, coming through this Cup carousel. Man, it's heating up here for 7th place.
Yeah, these two are battling out, and that's for position. And everybody wants, obviously, you're not going to win. You want to be as high up the food chain as you can, just to work your way into the point system of the playoffs, if possible.
Oh, as the 11 locks up the brakes just a little bit into that final turn, able to get it back going. If anything, it helped him rotate through that corner, so he's now side by side with Isaac Wilson coming down into turn number 1. Isaac Wilson being stuck on that outside, the 11 eating a whole bunch of that inside curb. All of this is happening right in front of the 42 of Angel Hernandez, who's just losing second after second, kind of being stuck behind these guys racing.
Yeah, I don't know if he likes where he's sitting right now, in between two guys battling for position when he's just trying to get through.
Oh, as
back to the front.
Tim Harmon is backwards on the track right now, having some more issues trying to get it back turned around. Oh, that's a wall, buddy. It's hard to get turned around. And now here comes the leaders backing up onto the track. Oh, boy, that was close.
A little bit of excitement here.
Boy, that was
lap
crazy.
38.
Yeah, I see.
Man,
Tim Harmon now
oh, those guys are nervous.
back running. Oh, as he just, man, those tires are not liking that 73 car right now, as he went a little deep there into that second to last corner. And I got a feeling the 73 is going to be coming down pit road. That was some hard impacts. No, he's going to stay out and try to keep putting laps down, as Isaac Wilson has crashed on that front straightaway. Al Corey just sneaking by on the grass, loses it. Oh, just snagging that wall a little bit and getting all parked up. Man, do you think we're starting to see a little bit of driver fatigue from some of these guys?
Maybe. If not driver fatigue, definitely some tire wear. Oh, the 18 just blew the bus stop. He's losing a lot of position, or a lot of time to the 81 of Hendricks right now, because he blew that first turn into the bus stop. Now the gap's 2 seconds. Wow, very surprising to see the 18 of Kevin Biggs make a mistake like that, but hell, you can recover from that.
And so here we are with 7 laps to go, and we got a whole bunch of action heating up out here on this warm racetrack.
Donald Jennings on Facebook saying, "Go Justin Barkley." Poor old Justin Barkley's had so many connection problems, I think he just gave up. He lost his internet a couple of times, it looked like. Yeah, 105 degrees. That's about what it was at practice. I think it went up and down, but that track temp, pretty high. Pretty greasy out there, I'm sure.
Oh, as Kevin Biggs drifts wide out onto that grass, able to keep that thing rolling while underpowered. Man, that was actually kind of impressive there from the 18. Don't know how he didn't lose time or anything there, but still sneaking his way up to that 81 of Davey Hendricks. And he's got a little bit of a way to go here with 6 laps to go. Looks like Isaac Wilson having another issue going off the track a little bit there. Kind of roughly the same spot as Kevin Biggs just was as the 48, trying to get back around him. A little bit of a lap car situation going on. But Brian Privet in that 55 currently sitting in 9th, looking to maybe improve upon his position, catching up to that bumper of the 93.
Yeah, I love the 93's paint job, that Mission 22. If you don't know what that is, definitely go check that out. But yeah, not his night tonight. He's letting folks around now, and he's one of them playoff drivers that just had a bad night, and you can see the damage all over his left rear.
Is it over yet?
5 laps to go.
Okay. Just making sure I didn't miss anything. This right turn stuff has got me confused all the way to Dallas. I can't figure anything out here.
Get you corn-fused, huh?
Yeah.
The 55 of Privet all over that back bumper of the 93. Trying to figure out a way to get around as Kevin Biggs not quite able to close that gap just yet. Still right around that 2-second mark up at the front. So Still got some laps to kind of make up that ground, but definitely starting to run out of time. Looks like Angel Hernandez drifting out wide just a little bit, catching a little bit of grass, and he's got to be careful here. He has oh, excuse me, I got my times all mixed up. It's actually Greg Klein who needs to be careful here a little bit.
93 wide. 93 went way wide into 6, but recovered. Sorry about that, bud.
That's all right. The 92 of Greg Klein has that 48 of William Brown just over a second behind him here with 4 laps to go. Greg Klein currently sitting in that 4th spot with William Brown in 5th. So we could see a little bit of a race happen between these guys here as these laps continue to fall off.
And Adam, we know at least somebody's going to have to make it in on points. So, yeah, you're going to be racing people for position as laps count down, because every point matters when it's crucial after the next couple of races are over with.
Yeah, and it's looking like, you know, if Davey wins this thing, you're going to have a couple people pointed in. So you definitely want to just kind of hold where you're at, as it could matter here after next week.
Definitely don't want to lose anything. If there's somebody running in front of you, you think you can get them, do everything you can to try and get them. Man, the times have just fallen off so greatly because it's been so long since these guys pitted.
And it's the same thing with Kevin Biggs. I wonder if he's definitely dealing with some of that tire wear issue. You know, running a 119, which, I mean, that's one of the slowest lap times we've seen out here, and he's losing second after second. Davey just driving away at this point.
And I don't know, but next week is, I think it's North Wilkesboro. What a difference in tracks that is from this.
Almost as different from, last week at Talladega to a road course. Now we're going to a short track. I love the variety of racing we get to see in Midwest Days of Thunder. You guys definitely put on a good show.
Cove just got around Biggs. I think those fresher tires helped Cove out there. I know he's lapped down, but Biggs really having some struggles out there at the moment.
As the 92 of Greg Klein has that 48 in his rearview mirror right now, about a half second behind him and closing. So 2 laps to go here to see if these guys can maybe try to get a run and get around. And, who knows, make some magic happen. Someone we haven't talked about today who's just been kind of plugging along and really not having too much of an issue is that 64 of Tony Fry. Man, talk about a perfect race to kind of just have a boring race at. Just sit around, kind of keep doing your thing, turn laps, and come away with, maybe a 6th place finish. And who knows, coming down here to the end as Andrew Cope having a little bit of an issue. He's all turned around and sideways.
And he hit Biggs a little bit there, but Biggs kept trucking. Ooh, that was close for Biggs.
All that's going to do, though, is let the 81 of Hendricks get farther and farther ahead, as now it's about, 8 seconds?
That it is, as we're coming across and taking the white flag. One more lap remaining here with Davey Hendricks very securely in the lead. He could just about coast this thing all the way around, just put that thing in cruise control and tick away this final lap. Kevin Biggs sitting back there in second, trying to make up some of this ground. He has made up a little bit. He's made up about a second, but unfortunately not the 7 more that he needs, as Angel Hernandez is in third, about 4 and 3/4 seconds behind him. So I think our top 3 are pretty much all set. It's really our 4th and 5th who have a interesting race going on that we'll have to tune into here when we get people crossing that checkered flagged line. heading into this short chute for the last time. Davey Hendricks down into that penultimate corner. One more corner away from picking up a win here in these MDOT Xfinity playoffs, albeit not in that kind of playoff picture. Still important, taking some points away, but across the line, 81 wins again here at Watkins Glen.
Looks like the 48 is not going to be able to catch the 92 as we see Kevin Biggs come
Oh,
across.
as the 92 gets a little tight going into that final turn, but has just enough of a gap there to secure his way into a fourth, and William Brown in that 48 coming away with that top 5.
Anything in the top 5 here, I think you're sitting pretty. So for the playoffs. So hey, we did it, guys. We finished.
Yeah, that we did. And I mean, talk about a clinic that Davey Hendricks has absolutely put on some of these guys. I mean, Kevin Biggs, definitely no knock on him. He did extremely well, and same thing with Angel Hernandez. Just running into a little bit of issues there, and just not able to hold on to that pace. But this is going to be an interesting playoff picture we're going to have moving on forward, as that's one guaranteed spot taken away.
Looks like we do have the 18 of Biggs in the Podium Finishers channel. I'm sure we'll get Hendricks and Hernandez up here as soon as they get ready, as Hendricks doing a pretty epic burnout down the front straightaway.
Man, that was a good one. That went on for a little bit. But like you said, let's get some of these guys in here and start these interviews underway. We'll start with our second place finish here, the 18 of Kevin Biggs, who was up there running up at the front with Davey Hendricks for quite a while. Kevin, congratulations on the second place finish. Unfortunately, I think you just I don't know if you ran out of tires or just ran out of time to catch Davey, but man, it was a close race up there for 3/4 of that race.
Yeah, it was a fun race. I just short pitted. I needed one more lap on fuel. When I came out of the pits, I was good for a half a lap, and then when I was riding behind Davey, it went to a lap, and then to minus half a lap to one whole lap. So I was trying to, I was upshifting. I was doing everything I could to save a little fuel, but I wasn't gonna make it. So I backed off and I didn't want to run that entire race and then come home with like a 10th place finish. So I'll take second.
Yeah, it was great watching you guys run up there, and we talked a lot about patience, and we saw that you did have a lot of patience, and the 81 was up there, and you stayed right behind him. You were within half a second to a second, nearly the entire race, and it's gotta suck just knowing, that, man, if I would have stayed out another lap, the situation may have been a little bit different, but you did try to push it there the last couple laps. We saw you really pushing that car, and how much do you think short shifting, or and that how much did that actually save you?
Well, a few times I was watching my fuel, and it seemed like it would save. I could save on one part of the track, but I couldn't save on the other part of the track because I didn't want to let Davey get too far ahead of me. And I feel like it was what I was doing on the front half of the track, I was killing it on the back half. So I don't think it was actually helping me. When I seen him stay out, I should have darted right back up onto the track and followed him, but I didn't think I could make it. I didn't think we could go another lap. I thought I'd run out on fuel, and like I said, I don't really need to finish way back in the pack, so I should have done a little bit more. I should have practiced a little longer and figured that out, but that's on me.
Well, P2 isn't bad, and next week North Wilkesboro, totally different track. So any real quick thoughts about going into next week?
I ran there last race we had last season, and I did pretty good. So I'm definitely going to practice. I want my car to be, I think we'll have a green flag run, so I want to be good on a longer run, and just try to hit it hard next week.
All right, man. Well, before we let you go, got any shout outs you need to get out and anything like that?
Yeah, shout out to you guys for doing this every week, and then of course all the admins and everybody that puts it on. I appreciate it.
Awesome, Kevin. Well, again, congratulations on the second place finish. Definitely kind of securing your way through to that next round into North Wilkesboro, and we look forward to seeing what you got the rest of these playoffs, man. Good luck.
Thank you.
And before the race winner, let's move down one spot into our third place finisher here. Someone who's already locked into the little finals here, so he really not too much of a worry, but still another great result from Angel Hernandez. And Angel, congrats on finishing third here today. Especially that first half of the race, man. You guys were setting a heck of a pace going, nose to tail up there with that Davey and Kevin, and it was a pretty interesting race going on.
Yeah, that first half before the pit stops, it was pretty close. One of us would mess up just a tiny bit in one corner, then one of us would mess up just back and forward, and obviously tires were aging, so it was pretty fun just sliding around there, around the corners. And yeah, overall, that was a really good battle between us three before obviously lap traffic kind of got in the way.
Tommy Stanley was pulling for you on Facebook and talking you up about, and he reminded us of how good you are at road course racing. We've seen you do very well at road courses. Talk a little bit more about the lap traffic. We saw a lot of guys that were going out of their way to try to let you guys by, but a couple of others that were. Keep in mind, they're still playoff drivers, but if they're 2 seconds off of your pace, how does that make you feel when you come up behind these guys and they don't give you a clear lane around?
It's a bit frustrating, obviously, but I guess I gotta understand it from, like I said, their perspective. They might be racing for playoffs, and obviously, just as long as they don't get held too much, I won't mind.
Yeah, well, we're going to see you in the championship anyway, so
Absolutely.
congrats on a heck of a run, and just take it easy until we get to Miami.
Alright, yeah, thank you guys. Hope you do good there.
Yeah, before we do let you go though, Angel, let's got any shout outs you need to do or anything like that?
Andrew, I think, Kolb again. I think if I would have ran out of fuel, I think he would have been right there to pick me up and push me. But obviously, I ran out literally like just 2 seconds before the line, so that was good.
Awesome, man. Well, again, congrats on another great finish here in these playoffs, and good luck next week and heading on into that final race here in a couple of weeks. We'll see what you can do.
I think, guys.
And now, running our way up that leaderboard, we'll talk to our race winner, the 81 of Davey Hendricks, who pretty much led this thing from flag to flag, but it got interesting there for a little bit there, Davey. I gotta give you congratulations on the big-time win here, but man, it definitely didn't look easy, especially that first half when you had Angel and Kevin all around you, but then that second half, you had Kevin right there knocking on that door up until those, I don't know, probably final 7 or so laps.
Yeah, they were close the whole damn time. The first run, as we went along, I started to save gas because I didn't think if I drove as hard as I could, I would have been able to save enough gas. So I had to get to a certain lap count. I think it was 23 or 24 was my aim.
23.
I had to get to that point. And then after that one, I saved that entire next run. I didn't redline it. I short shifted. I braked early. I was not going to lose this by running out of gas. The idea was that if Kevin or Angel, it could have been either one. They were both fast as hell. If either of them got to my bumper, like on those last couple of laps, I could go as hard as I needed to try and win. But I was a little bit iffy on whether I was going to make it at all. And I think Angel ran out on the last lap, so it was close.
Congrats on the win, and we mentioned it several times tonight that, well, now that we have a non-playoff driver and we have a guy that's already locked in, there's a couple guys that are going to have to point their way in, but that's neither here nor there for you because you're just out there to compete and get a win, and we're glad to see it tonight. How do you feel about next week at North Wilkesboro? We see you run pretty well wherever you go. How are you with that short track?
I mean, it's not a terrible track. I mean, the same thing that happened last time 2 meter short track is probably going to happen this time. I'm just going to get run over. I mean, it is what it is. I'll show up. I'll race. If I win, yay. If I don't, yay. But as long as someone beats me and doesn't run me over, I'm happy. If I get run over for it, that's when I start to get a little bit salty over it.
Okay, so there could be some fights. Awesome. I'm looking forward to it next week.
I'm not the one running for a championship, so
I don't.
pick your battles.
I'm ready for the fights. Let's do this. All right, congrats, and we'll see you next time.
Yep, thanks, guys.
Yeah, before we do let you go, do you got any shout-outs you got to throw out there or anything like that?
Whew. All the drivers for showing up every week. I know we're getting farther into the playoffs, and like I have nothing to race for. I don't have really anything to do other than just trying to win races. But I appreciate the other guys showing up who aren't in the playoffs, who really have nothing to race for too. We're just here for a good time. The admins for putting all this on, everyone watching, you guys in the booth. I think that's it.
All right,
Hell
man.
yes, I love that you got guys showing up that aren't in the playoffs, but they're still there to compete. We still need big, full fields of racing, especially at big tracks like this. So
yeah, my whole goal is to ruin some playoffs and steal some wins and make sure someone else
Isn't that
can't
what
get
you
in
said,
on points.
Adam?
That's why I'm here. I'm taking wins. You're gonna have to point race your way in.
I may have
Word for
mentioned it.
word what he said.
Hey, I know what he's up to. Hey, dude, let's see it. Roll it next week. I'm looking forward to it.
I said we'll see.
Ooh, doggy dog. All right, boys. Well, that's Watkins Glen.
Okay.
Did not disappoint. That was fun.
But I'm glad it's over.
Yeah.
Had fun though. Had fun.
No, you know what? Typically at these road courses, this is kind of what we see. We see some battles for position. We see some mistakes being made, and cars unfortunately kind of being wrecked. And we had a little bit of all that going on here today. So let's run through our final finishing positions and tell everybody where their favorite driver might have ended up. Got Davey Hendricks in that 81 picking up a win here today with the 18 of Kevin Biggs finishing just shy in second. Angel Hernandez having a solid race himself, finishing in third. The 92 of Greg Klein, man, typically we see him do very well at these road courses, and he did do a pretty good job. He was able to hold off that 48 of William Brown to finish fourth there, with William Brown rounding out that top five. You then got that 64 of Tony Fry just kind of quietly plug his way along there. Just really not a heck of a lot of action going on around him. Walking away with a easy sixth place finish. You got the 11 of Andrew Cobe. A little bit of an up and down day for him. He was able to walk away seventh with the 55 of Brian Privet in eighth. The 93 of Isaac Wilson made a pretty good comeback. He came back through the field a little bit there to finish with a top 10 ninth place finish. And rounding out that top 10 is going to be that 60 of Special K, Alan Kewins.
45 of Al Corey finishing 2 laps down in 11th. Mike Hornbeck in the 84. We saw some glitching going into the wall and some flipping around stuff from him tonight. Just not a good run for Mike. I know probably disappointed in it, but finishing 12th place, 3 laps down today. Tim Harmon in the 73 machine. He's a playoff driver, but man, he just had all kinds of issues tonight, and still finishing in 13th place. 51 of Ken Ellison, another one of those guys that had a lot of issues out there on the track, finishing 14th. The 35 of Flanagan with connection problems. He's 22 laps down, finishing 15th place. Started in 7th, so a lot of spots lost for the 35, a lot of points lost. The 22 of Justin Barkley, same kind of deal. Had a couple of connection problems and probably went off to have a big old plate of macaroni instead of racing. And he rounds out your field, finishing dead last 60.
All right. Well, that concludes today's events here from Watkins Glen in New York, virtually, of course, here on iRacing. We thank you all for tuning in week out, watching all of our races that we put on. We thank you all for that. As always, you are the reason why we do this. Seeing all these fans come out and cheer on their drivers, that's what we always like to see. Definitely stay tuned. We got the ARCA cars here on Thursday night. That's going to be broadcasted by Isaac Wilson and his crew. That's going to be a very interesting race to watch as they are in that kind of playoff run as well. We look forward to seeing what things unfold here, so definitely stay tuned for all the week's events. Also, this week is Veterans Day, so if you get the second and see a veteran, go up there and usually I would say shake their hand, but in these times, at least, say thank you to them for their service, because we definitely all appreciate the sacrifices that they have made out there. And I know we got a few veterans in this league, so I'll just go out and say it now is thank you all for doing what you do and supporting this country. This is, one of the great things we get to do because of people like you guys. So we appreciate it. And with that, for Alan English and Adam Turner, we're signing off.
We go.
See ya.